Conference of Churches was set up in 1961 when a group of theologians realized the importance of faith in the current injustice that was happening in the region. In the 1960s, in our Pacific history, we know of how the French government and USA used the Pacific as a dumping ground or the testing ground for nuclear. So this sort of started the movement where the churches were not only going to focus on the spiritual aspect of things, but also looking at how Pacific people were affected by social issues. So the current work that we are doing particularly focus on the 3 P's, and the 3 P's are being prophetic, the church is being a prophetic voice, providing pastoral care and support, and lastly being practical. So in terms of climate change or climate justice, the issue started in 2004. This was in Kiribati when a group of church leaders, the young people met 2 weeks prior to the church leaders meeting. They came up with the first Pacific Declaration, Youth Declaration on Climate Change. This was then presented to the church leaders who later in that meeting came up with the Osintai Declaration. So in 2004, the churches were already talking about this issue of climate change.
It is now my pleasure to welcome Reverend James Bhagwan on behalf of faith-based organizations. Sir, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Grace and peace to you all. The climate emergency is the result of an ethical, moral and spiritual crisis manifested in a fixation on profit. The extractive and ultimately unsustainable systems of production and consumption by those complicit in this crisis continue to ignore increasing scientific and moral warnings.
My name is Dini Tukana and I come from the Anglican Church. I am the Diocesan Youth Coordinator of the Lotu Youth Mission Community, which is a youth arm of the Anglican Church within the Diocese of Polynesia that encompasses Fiji, Tonga, Samoa, American Samoa, and also the Polynesians living in New Zealand, mainly in Auckland. With Lotu Youth Mission Community, what we've done is we've taken on the responsibility of doing a cleanup campaign, and we've done that for the past 2 years. So our young people have they started that initiative from one of our churches, which is in St. Luke's at Silver Point. Some of the youth members came together in partnership with our students, our theological students here in St. John's. We took the initiative to clean up the foreshore in Silver Point. So from Silver Point up until USP Lower Campus, coming in up until Silver Point. Our second initiative was the Nambucolo Creek. That was where we had our CSO partners partnering with us to clean up Nambucolo Creek, beginning from the heart of Nambucolo Creek, which is in Turek, right down Nambucolo Creek. And our third initiative was done earlier this year, in March, before the lockdown, and that was cleaning the Lami foreshore. The initiative, when that was done, was firstly to empower our young people and also to give them a sense of responsibility of taking care of the environment. There was, you can see the faces of the young people change when we started to show them the pictures before cleaning up the spaces, especially in Lemi. We showed them the picture before we went to clean up and after we cleaned up. We saw their faces change. There was a sense of pride, of happiness, and also a sense of satisfaction and also responsibility when they started to say, this is how it's supposed to be, this is how we want this place to look, and also we'll try to take that those things that we've learned from here and take it back to our own homes. So those small steps, we are happy that young people are slowly starting to stand up and take a leading role in keeping our environment healthy.
Let justice roll down like waters and righteousness like an overflowing stream. And this is a reading from the Iona community. Peace, peace, peace. Deep peace of running wave to you. Deep peace of flowing air to you. Deep peace of quiet earth to you. Deep peace of shining stars to you. Deep peace of the sun of peace to you. I sail my canoe through the breaking waves. Let them pass under. Let my canoe pass over. O God, Tani.